Good morning, world, and all those who inhabit it. This is a fun day. I have the new Apple Watch Ultra and the AirPods Pro 2. This will likely be the best running combination Apple has ever done, but, at what cost? So, anyway, today I'll be testing out the Apple Watch Ultra and the AirPods Pro 2 on, a 10 to 12 mile run. And then I'll have my trusty Garmin Fenix 5S Plus to compare it to. And let's just see how it does on the preliminary run. So far, so good. I will say it's a crazy windy morning out, but the AirPods Pro 2 are doing a really good job of cutting the wind noise and keeping my volume around 50% and still being able to hear the music. Alright, with that right hand turn onto Washington Street, I am now on the Boston Marathon course. I'm probably, mile 16 right now. Well, let's say probably around mile 16 and a half. Alright, so just got to the top of Heartbreak Hill and now working back down. I just want to point out, with the noise cancellation on, I can still hear cars pretty easily. I guess as long as they're not electric. Even like the lawnmower back there, I can still hear pretty easily with noise canceling turned on. Alright, so I got in 12 miles with the Apple Watch, and that was a really good experience all around with this watch. I believe my Garmin said that same distance was 12.1 miles, so kind of a big discrepancy. I'm guessing the Apple Watch needs a couple runs to get acclimated. That would be my guess, so I'm not going to hold it against the watch too much. Okay, so that went very well. After 12 miles with downloaded music playing to the AirPods, as well as like a 10-minute phone call with my dad, we're down from 88% battery life to 53%, so that did take a pretty big toll, but a really good run, and after I shower, we'll talk about the experience. So all in all, I was super impressed with the Apple Watch Ultra. Immediately, the extra button makes a big difference, and there's some frustrations about it still, but also some benefits. So now to pause or resume a run, you double click or you single click both of these side buttons, which is much better than before, where to do that manually, you had to kind of reach to the side and do the crown and the side button. You still can't do it with a single click. You can start the run with a single click, which is nice at least, but Apple still won't let you do a single physical click to pause and resume. I really hope they change that with the software feature. But I almost immediately noticed with the Apple Watch a feature that I'm pretty sure my Garmin can't do, and that's both having automatic laps for every mile or every half mile or whatever distance you want. For most people, at least in America, it's every mile and be every kilometer elsewhere. But then you're also doing the manual segments, and they don't interfere with each other. You can completely have both. So I had splits for every mile, and then I also had, I did a 5-mile split, and then just the rest of the run after that for a nice before and after. So I really like that feature that exists here with the Apple Watch. And I'm pretty sure I can't do that with my Garmin, because you can have it in auto lap mode and then do manual laps within that, but then it resets that next lap based off where you did that previous one. So it's just not as nice as I think this allows me to do. So that's really nice. On top of that, the battery life was, you know, it wasn't insane. Like I could only have gotten one more day out of this watch, not even a full day out of this watch with the battery rate. However, it should be noted that I was streaming music to my AirPods, and if I did that on my Garmin, that would chew through the battery as well. And I also did a 10-minute phone call, and phone calls are notorious for chewing through battery on the watch. So I guess that's fair enough, and my dad said I sounded perfect even with the wind on this run. So, I mean, credit there, and I'll have to test out the battery life a little bit more with running. I also noticed that you can now go to other applications while you're on a phone call. I remember years ago you couldn't go into other apps on your watch while a phone call was happening. So that's a nice change. Now in terms of the accuracy of everything, both the GPS and the heart rate were a bit off. GPS was off 0.1 from my Garmin for an average pace difference of 4 seconds. And looking at the map, they're very similar maps, and it just had to be in the tangents or the software calculation of this watch. I did wait before this run until the GPS signal locked, because that's a feature you can do now. So it was locked in, so I didn't have to worry about that, but I'm guessing this is just a first run hiccup, and the heart rate was just off from the get-go. I think it said I was averaging like 180 heart rate for an easy run, whereas my Garmin had something much more accurate, around 158, which seems much more realistic than 179 on an easy run. But all in all, I think this is a really good watch for runners, but probably just not worth it for most people, because you're gonna have to buy a new one and sooner than you would, I assume, sooner than you would something like a Garmin Fenix. So I will definitely be doing a more comprehensive review talking about this and comparing it to my Garmin, etc. But so far, first run, it was good, you know, notwithstanding the obvious hiccups of the heart rate and GPS, which I hope will be ironed out in the next few runs. Now, in terms of the AirPods 2, it's not a whole lot to say. They're great. In terms of running, you don't really get a whole lot of new features. You do get better noise cancellation, which is nice. I'm gonna have to compare it to my old ones in a run to really tell, because the old ones were great. This was great. It was a super windy day, and I could still hear my music totally fine at 50% volume with noise canceling turned on. And yes, as I mentioned, you can still hear cars. Maybe not an electric car, which in a state like Massachusetts could be a problem, but I'll just always be careful when you're running with these. Don't have noise canceling on when it's 10 p.m. and dark outside, or if you're running on a narrow road, save it for the sidewalks, stuff like that. Sound quality was excellent, and I only went through 25% battery in an hour and a half run, so that definitely lives up to Apple's 6-hour claims, so that's fantastic. And then in terms of the volume changing on the stem, it wasn't super great. It was a little finicky. I'm gonna have to keep trying that out to really test it out. But, you know, I think these are going to be my new favorite running earbuds. I was really starting to enjoy the Beats Power, but Beats, what are they? The Studio Buds, I think is what they are, the noise canceling ones. But I'll do a comparison with those as well. So anyway, as I test out both the Apple Watch Ultra and the AirPods Pro 2, let me know what you want to see, what you want it compared to, all this kind of stuff, and I look forward to testing out these devices going forward. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, and hopefully I'll be having more running content coming soon.